you've got to guess the voice now. This is a mystery voice. Let's see if you can guess who's saying this.
U3.C5.L4, the distributive property.
Take it away, Mr. Ivanovich. Oh! Howdy, neighbor. All right, so today we're doing the distributive property, and I feel like I'm really talking in a loud voice, but I'm not sure, so I'm just going to stick with it. So by the end of this, you can apply the distributive property to rewrite algebraic expressions, which sounds so much more complicated than we're going to take a value and distribute it over a quantity, which is all we're really going to do. So my initial example is I've got a group of friends here. Here's my friends. I've got Maddie and Lauren and Darissa, and I set them up as addition because we're keeping our friends together. We're not subtracting one of them. I've got them grouped with our mathematical symbols. They're in our parentheses. And what I did was I bought them all gifts. So I bought them all a duck. And I want to then distribute those gifts to them. So what I have to do is I have to make sure that this duck gets to everybody. So in my delivery of it, I'm going to go to my first term or friend, Maddie, then my second friend, Lauren, and my third friend, Darissa. So that in the end, what happens is this duck gets to Maddie, and another duck gets to Lauren, and another duck gets to Darissa. Now mathematically what would happen is we would multiply those together. That's the operation that we'll do. So let's look and see how that actually works, now that you're super excited about the ducks. So the distributive property is when we multiply each term. You think it's inside or outside? I did it inside, so it looks like inside the parentheses by the number or variable. Well, you won't do variables this year. You'll do variables in 8th grade and in your freshman year. Outside, squeak, 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 the parentheses. So then here is a real life distribution problem. So I have 5 times the quantity, 8 plus 7. So make sure that you distribute that duck to everybody. So we're going to do 5 times A, then 5 times 7. So first thing, after you do that, you need to rewrite it. Make sure you rewrite it. Don't write over it. Rewrite it. Don't be bad, John, 7th grader. Be good, you student. So 5 times A, we know, is 5A. And 5 times 7 is 35. And that operator just tags right along. Plus. So distributed, 5 times the quantity A plus 7 is 5A plus 35. Not the most challenging thing in the world. So I think you can handle it. Let's look at 2 examples. Wow, that's not in the order I was expecting. So what we learned in our last lesson was that in the commutative property, since we're doing multiplication here, we can change these around. So instead of writing it like this, which looks sort of unfamiliar to us, we can rewrite it as -6 times the quantity 2b plus 3. And then we deal out the ducks. We're going to do -6 times 2b and -6 times 3. And what we end up with is -6 times 2b is -12b. And -6 times 3 is -18. And I'm going to put a parentheses around that. Then I'm going to bring that addition sign down here so that I have -12b plus -18. Here's another one. Now we've got 3 terms. So do you think 3 terms is going to change our process? You're right, it doesn't. All we're going to do is distribute this 3 to all 3 terms. The difference is, now that we have 3 terms, there might be something that we have to simplify afterwards. So first step, 3 times 4y, that's 12y. 3 times 9, 27. 3 times 2y is 6y. Now, ask yourself, do we have any like terms? Well, we do. And I think the best way to identify them is to circle them. So here's my 2y, Here's my 6y. They're both positive, so we can add them together. If we wanted to, we could use the commutative property first and rewrite it as 12y plus 6y plus 27. Then combine those like terms to say 12y plus 6y is 18y plus, don't forget that 27. And there it is. We distributed the 3 over the quantity and then simplified it to get 18y plus 27. So here we are. We're already at the target. Can you hit the target? Can you distribute this? -5 times the quantity, 2x plus 4y. There are 2 variables in that, so be wary of that. And then 2 times the quantity, 8 plus b. I'm thinking that one's a little easier. And then can you create one? So if I made a little template for you like this, you have blank, parentheses, parentheses. Then we need some sort of value here, some sort of value here, and then a plus, minus, multiply, or divide if you really want to challenge yourself. Let's stick with just plus or minus. So something added to something or something subtracted from something. Bring that tomorrow and maybe we'll have you challenge one of your friends, which sounds so fun, doesn't it? Okay, so if you have any questions, you can rewatch this video. You can ask me, you can ask Mrs. Benoit, you might ask that lady who was talking in the beginning, or you might ask Mrs. I almost said her name. You know how I like to say the answer to the question in my sentences. You might ask Mrs. Purdue upstairs. Good luck.